and shut.
Shooting Shelter was a really long, difficult process. I guess it started like 12 years ago when I had the original concept for it. Back in college, I was going to write it as a stage play. And then about 3 years ago, Casey Brooks and I decided that we wanted to shoot a low-budget independent feature, and it lent itself to being low budget. Most of it takes place in one location. That made it feasible for us with very little money. So I wrote the script, and we spent about a year or so developing it, and then getting into pre-production and casting and all that. And casting was really difficult too, because it's really hard to find 18 solid actors that'll give you a good performance and are willing to work basically for free, a little gas money here and there. And so that was a really long process, but I think we came up with a good group of people that gave us what we were looking for.
Chris and I had lived in Sherman Oaks. We were roommates. And for a few months, Robert Perez, co-producer and assistant director on the film, was also living with us. And we're looking to move anyway, but we wanted also to save some money for the film.
We came up with the genius idea to leave Sherman Oaks, where we were living at the time, and actually move up to Big Bear, where at the time we were gonna shoot the entire film up there. And then we decided to just shoot the stuff outside of the shelter, and shoot the stuff that takes place in the shelter on a soundstage. And so we left our comfortable living environment and headed to Big Bear.
We had this bright idea of living out in Big Bear, in this small, tiny cabin, actually the same cabin where Henry lives. We moved out there, and we thought it was a good idea, you know, it'd be really great, really low rent, and we'd be able to save money for the shelter and add to the budget and blah, blah, blah. We all had day jobs on this, and me and Robert actually worked at the same place at the time, and we had a 2-hour commute every day up and down that mountain from Big Bear, California to where we worked.
I'm up there trying to get ready to make a film with no cell reception, no internet access. It was just a bad idea all the way around. We managed to stick it out for 2 weeks.
It was the mountains, you know, and so it was really hard to plan a movie out there. So it didn't work out, and I remember even one night we were coming up late from LA, somewhere in LA. We were doing something, and we're driving back up the mountain pretty late, and I was with Chris in his Jeep, which is also featured in the film. We saw a deer in the middle of the road on a very sharp corner up there, and Chris saw it, you know, last minute and swerved into the mountain itself. And we hit pretty hard and had some damage on it.
Natural reaction is to swerve.
Neither one of us.
Because it could have been anything. It could have been a deer, wolf, Wolverine. You never know. Human. So he hits the brakes. We're skidding, and we're like, we're going to hit. And we didn't say a word. It was dead silence. And it hit on my side first, basically straight into the mountain. I got rocked around a little bit. And then it hit Chris's side, but continued going that way and did a 360 where we were pointed back the way we were driving.
Hit pretty hard.
And it hit really hard. Pull over, look at the car, we're all shaking up. Both have to piss. So we go and piss.
We're a little nervous.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't piss my pants or shit myself. Could have done that, you know.
Knowing that we needed to shoot this Jeep in the movie, we had to get that fixed right away, and also we had to move. We just had to get out of there.
Well, we were actually also asked to leave.
Yeah, we went up to 2 fine establishments in Big Bear, and we come across 2 females and make a conscious decision. You know, why don't you guys come and hang with us? So, you know, that probably wasn't a good idea, and so they come and hang with us, and you know, they're loud. So we had been up there 2 weeks without them up there, and that's the first night that they come to and they see us bringing home these girls and drinking. The point is that it shouldn't happen. And, you know, so we usher them inside and are like, you know, you need to cool your jets. And someone was like, hey, let's spark up the hookah or something like that. And so they started looking for materials to light that. And I'm looking for something, and placed my hand on what I thought was a wall. In fact, it was a window covered by a blanket to block the sun out because the windows everywhere. And it being a cheap window, it broke with the pressure of my muscular arm. And anyway, it broke, and I'm sure they heard that in the dead of night about 3. And we get the great news that we have to get out. We have 2 days to do that. So we decided to move out that night, and we're up till 7 in the morning moving out down from Big Bear.
We were homeless for a few hours, and then we moved into a motel for exactly a week.
And from that point, we ended up living in a garage at my co-cinematographer's parents' house, Juan Santos. That's where we lived during the majority of the filming and post-production, almost all of it. And we actually edited the whole thing, basically, in a converted garage that was out in Pomona. So
But it was supposed to be temporary while we just made the film, and it ended up being like 14 or 15 months, and not ideal living conditions, but it worked for the time, and yeah, glad to be out though.